Can you remember the last time you finished a book? Over a quarter of the US population reported that they haven't read a book in the past 12 months. And well, me too.
Me too.
In a digital world of never-ending stimulation, why would you ever pick up a book when you can just pick up your phone? And as somebody who's literally addicted to this website, you're probably wondering to yourself too, what's the point of reading? So to find that out, I'm challenging myself this week to number 1, read 7 books in just 7 days. I'm gonna finish these 7 books and I'm not gonna leave my house until I do.
What?
And number 2, block YouTube on my computer and phone. And by the end of the video, I'll share with you 3 important lessons I learned about reading, and you'll find out reading is truly worth your time. Starting with day 1. I keep checking my phone while I'm reading, which is super distracting, so I'm gonna put my phone in one of these boxes. This is like a lock box. When I was reading this book about mindset, I was inspired in so many different ways to want to change my life. And so that led me to the first realization, which is the idea that the information that we input into our minds affects our output. In other words, positive inputs equals positive outputs. When it comes to our diet, we all know that what we put into our mouths affect what we look like. But do you think about how the content that you input every day affects your priorities and your behavior day to day? For example, if you watch video game content or streamers on a daily basis, what kind of hobbies and behaviors do you think you'll be doing? In this book, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, the author Tom Corley interviewed a host of self-made millionaires about their daily self-habits and concluded that reading was a key factor in their success. But why was that? Was it that the books they were reading were so life-changing, or was it simply just that reading more got them to think more? I remember on this day I got super tired reading and I actually had to make coffee to finish the book. I'm so tired from reading. I'm reading this book. I think I'll just try to finish it tomorrow. And as I continued reading into the next day, I had a new realization. Not only was reading making me think more, it was also increasing my focus. Let me explain. Even if you disregard the actual content that you're reading, the act of reading and following a coherent argument across multiple chapters cultivates your focus. I can definitely feel myself developing better focus after the last couple of days. Now when I read, I kind of get into a flow state. It's a lot easier for me to read for longer periods of time at once. So I started taking a lot of notes, which also helps me focus better too. See, anyone can sit down and swipe through TikToks and shorts, but it's a lot harder to sit down and just read words for a couple of hours. Not only that, when I'm reading, I'm forced to visualize everything that's on the page, essentially utilizing parts of my brain that I wouldn't be if I was just watching content. I decided to choose this book because sometimes I find it hard to communicate with people when I meet them for the first time or instantly build rapport, so I feel like this book would be really helpful for me. In 2012, neuroscientists at Stanford University reported that reading ability in young children is related to the growth of the brain's white matter tracts, which connects the brain's language center with parts of the brain that process visual information. So essentially, reading increases your focus, comprehension, and even your ability to become a better speaker. I just got off a call with my girlfriend. I definitely feel like reading more really has made me sound more intelligent. I definitely use bigger words, and I'd say my vernacular and lexicon has definitely been enhanced. Through this challenge, I was literally spending 5 to 10 hours every single day reading, and by day 5, I realized a hack. I just realized that I could listen to the audiobook. Since it's a biography, it's a much easier read. So I think I'm just gonna listen to the audiobook for this book and also clean my room in the process. I tried this for some of the other non-fiction books, but I think it works better when it's just a biography. I'm finally starting to feel like I'm starting to enjoy the process of reading a lot more. I realized another hack, which is reading books like you watch YouTube videos. If it's not interesting, switch it to a new book. The last book I read was pretty dry and boring, but when I switched to a new book, it was a night and day difference. I could read faster and absorb the knowledge a lot better. There was still one big fundamental shift in how I was feeling that I couldn't quite put into words. But then something clicked, and I realized it was this. Reading gave me the ability to surround myself with extraordinary people. You've probably heard the quote before, you're the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with the most. Well, for the past week, I surrounded myself with scientists, doctors, entrepreneurs, who are distilling their decades of knowledge into a book that only takes me 5 to 10 hours to finish. Sure, you could watch content as well, but there's just so much more depth into reading a book that someone has spent years to write. And so that's the biggest paradigm shift for me. Books allow you to surround yourself with anyone that inspires you. This challenge has been incredibly eye-opening for me. I plan to continue to have screen time on my phone and to read daily as a habit. But I just have one more question. So do you think you'll start reading?
I think about it.